Et bonjour à tous, on est de retour sur Eternal Strands. On va continuer l'histoire. Je pense que c'était, je sais pas si c'était un point de non-retour, mais c'était un point avec beaucoup d'histoire, c'est ce qu'il avait dit. Donc on va aller discuter avec Karikim.
Ready to head to Cassidan's Hold?
Ben oui.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Great. Hey, while it's just the two of us, I'll be deploying to the Underworks almost immediately after we arrive. Watch Khan Stanold for me, will you? I know Oriel wants you to give him a chance, but he can't be trusted.
I'm always ready for anything, Eric.
Ouais, je fais pas confiance non plus.
I know. Let's move.
Decades of caution have been rewarded, friends. For this moment, and not one sooner, is the precise time to strike. Today, we wrangle our lands free from the Surgeborn's grasp and reclaim our hearth once more. Whatever it takes. None of this could be possible without the esteemed prowess of the Spindle. Her work on the Arks has laid the foundation for my plan. She and I will proceed to the Grand Gate at once. Scouts, you have your orders. It's time. Whatever it takes.
Bryn, you need to come with me.
Now?
Yeah, no time to explain. And Aurea, you should get on the scry.
All right. Whatever you need.
Let's go.
Ça sonne mal, ça.
Sev, I know you said there's no time to explain, but want to give me a clue as to where we're going?
So, obviously I've been working with the Eye. And well, he had me repair the Grand Gate. It's connected to this place called the Source, and I guess that's where the Surgeborn came from. He's got this plan to go there and solve this problem once and for all.
Right. I heard that part of his speech already. What does this have to do with us sprinting like an Ash Peak Drake is on our heels?
So there's, it's better if I just show you.
Il y a personne qui m'explique rien. Oh.
Perfect. As punctual as you are daring.
Sev, what's going on?
I don't know.
Oh, don't blame him. He's merely a puppet. Ironic, given I'm the one all tangled up.
So you can talk?
Of course. Only language could allow me to prey upon Kenrick's exquisite inadequacies.
You've been talking to the Eye? Manipulating him?
Into a foolhardy and preposterous plan that only an absolute imbecile could think was worth pursuing, yes. I've been down here for years, laying groundwork and learning what I could about your people. All towards a moment when I could convince Kenrick to act. I almost despaired he ever would. And then, along comes you.
Me?
Oh, yes. Kenrick is threatened by you. Terrified, even. In your brief time inside the Veil, you've accomplished so much more than he has in decades. Not that that's saying much. Still, you are the perfect catalyst for change. We have that in common, as you will discover in time. So now, he's going to open a gate to the heart of the Enclave, convinced he can recover it from us. And the one person I worry might be able to stop us is here, talking to me.
Well, shit.
You're fast, but even you can't run to the rescue now.
You've thought of everything. Except, why tell me all this?
Because you're too late to stop us. And even if you weren't, No one would believe you.
Sure. Unless they were listening.
Quit taunting it, Bryn. We've got work to do.
Chaud bye. Don't do it. Too late.
Isla, we must retreat.
No! I'm staying to fix this.
Je me rappelle pas la dernière fois que j'ai vu une cinématique animée et qu'il y a du monde parler en même temps. Je sais même pas si j'en ai vu en fait.
Whatever you can to buy me time.
Hello. Pas une arme, j'espère. C'est un petit peu gros pour moi.
Bren is seriously about to free that thing.
The spindle told her to buy time.
It doesn't take too long.
Bad. Non. C'est pas de quoi? Non, t'as pas grimpé. Non. Pour faire ça, je devrais peut-être essayer de juste m'agripper tout court. Quelle raison, je pense? Pourquoi tu montais plus à ce jeu-là, là, des fois, là. Je fais quoi, là? Faut que je les mette d'en face. Ça gèle? Oh, 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 attends. Wait a minute. Ça gèle pas tant longtemps, je pense. C'est dire que je peux l'attaquer, là.
Going, Bren! I need more time. Can Bren keep going for much longer?
Ah, je peux continuer encore un bout.
A little more time. Almost there.
Mais je fais mal.
Things are okay. What? What's she doing to the ark?
Hopefully not what I think.
C'est quoi qu'il a fait? Je sais qu'il y a eu de la misère à en contrôler un petit, mais il est gros pas mal. Ah, c'est celle-là que j'ai eu en plus.
Whatever it takes.
Oh non!
Spirits. Okay. Weavers have always dealt with problems like this. Well, not just like this, but yeah. We'll figure it out. Aurea, she'll know what to do.
Hey,
Hey,
how do you feel?
okay now, but it was touch and go for a while. Lane will probably never forgive me. For that matter, I might not either.
I knew that fight. The spindle, giving her life like that. It'd be on your mind all night. How could it not? And I've been mulling over what to tell you this morning. I had a speech planned, but you don't need a speech. You're like me. It'd ring false. So I'm going to tell you what I'd need to hear after something like that. You did good. It was an awful situation, but you stood up and did what needed to be done without hesitating. Not many people have that kind of grit.
Ouais, pas tant de notre faute, là. Bragg a l'Edel, ouais, je pense pas que c'est le temps.
I can't shake the feeling that if I had done something more, the spindle would still be with us.
She made her choices same as you. She was a weaver, and we do whatever it takes. Look, I know you, Bryn. You're made of stern stuff. You've the mountains in your bones. Any sense of doubt or being shaken is just snowfall. Temporary, and it'll slide off soon.
That was the part you practiced, right?
Yes. But that doesn't make it less true.
Okay.
Ah, je viens de remarquer qu'il a pu blesser.
Okay. Thoughts on what we do next? We obviously need to deal with that beast. But where to start?
We need to get everyone together. Our band, Arakim too. And I want you to call the meeting.
Me?
Yes, you.
Je vais voir ma girlfriend.
I know you're not one to shy away from a fight, but you should have known better than to go toe-to-toe with that thing.
Wow, 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 wow. Tu savais dans quoi tu t'embarquais, fille.
Casmin, I'm all right.
That's not the point, Bryn. I was really scared.
Mais je comprends.
I know.
I know I should be better about this, but I can't lose you. Not after we finally...
I'm not going anywhere. I promise.
Good. Dom would be beside himself if something happened to you.
I don't know what I'd do without Dom, either.
You're staring. What's got you in such a good mood?
What? I can't admire my gorgeous girlfriend.
You can. But none of this showing up here just to look at me with love in your eyes. That's too mushy. Especially in front of Aurea. At least come up with something clever to talk about.
So, if being mushy around the caravan isn't ideal, tell me what you'd like to do when we have some downtime.
I'd love to. It's dumb.
Now you have to tell me.
Stargazing. When I worked the shipping lanes, I learned a lot about navigation by the stars. Maybe it'd be fun to... I don't know.
Kaz, nothing would make me happier than a date by starlight with you.
Oh, I think it would be so peaceful.
Are you worried that Aurea won't approve of us?
No, she thinks it's... cute.
Then why are you worried about her seeing us be cute?
It's not just her. It's everyone. You make me so happy. And I guess I'm afraid that if everyone sees how happy I am around you, then they'll know how devastated I'll be if it doesn't work out. This is still really new. Is it bad if I need to take things slow before I can parade our cuteness around the camp?
Of course not. But just so you know, you make me incredibly happy too. If I have my way, this will totally work out.
That's reassuring.
Sure. I can find something to talk about. Ah! What made you fall head over heels for me?
Subtle. I guess I believe that the best thing you can do with your life is be in service of others. And that's what you embody. As a friend, as a point, as a leader. Yet, somehow you do it without burning out or putting others above yourself in an unhealthy way. That's very attractive.
That's what draws me to you. How caring you are. And more importantly, how you're learning to turn that care in towards yourself.
I'm trying, at least. I like that you noticed.
Tell me about yourself, then. What's the happiest memory from your childhood?
It rained a lot in Dunbrennig, so we didn't do this often. But on the rare sunny days, my mum took me to the beach. We'd both bring books and blankets to spend the day reading on the hot sandy coastline.
That sounds lovely.
It was.
Unfortunately, your adorable face has left me speechless.
Oh, gods. I'll meet you in your tent later. You can stare all you like then.
Looking
Oh,
forward to it.
damn. Ouh là là. Bon, meeting. Meeting, gang. Meeting.
Bryn, I cannot fathom how you must have felt in that fight against the Surgeborn.
As strange as it is to say, I had the easy part.
Yes. Tragedy about Isla. So much talent lost. Wasted, even. I can't stop rolling what you said before we went to Cassidon's around in my head.
About how we were ready for anything. Kind of ironic now.
Yes. Quite. Though I cannot fathom who would have been ready for that. But your point was well made. We have overcome so much in this place, where others might have rolled over and given up. In moments of despair, the deep night, when most of you are asleep and the world comes alive, keep thinking about it. We're ready for anything. You know, I believe we are.
The bar I'd set for my expectations of him was low. Subterranean. You'd have to plumb tremendous depths to even glimpse it. And yet, I never would have expected him to stoop quite so low as he did at the Grand Gate.
Hey, Lane. How are you holding up?
I'm fine. Just coming down from the stress of all this. I was a bit worried about you, I'll admit. Are you all right?
Thanks for the concern. A little sore today, but no lasting injuries.
Good. Good.
Are you sure you're fine?
Yes. Just ruminating on the numerous disastrous failures that led to this. Not by us, but...
We'd all love to protect the future. But smart as you are, even you can't do that.
Isla would still be here if I could.
I know. She saved us all.
Scholars rarely agree on much. But if there's one philosophy many of us share, it's that we must understand our past to build better futures. Maybe I couldn't have prevented this tragedy, but I can't help but mine the past for clues of what was to come, if only to stop it from ever happening again. How did he know?
Lane, are you all right?
I'm just rattled. I never told you, or anyone else, my full name. Not because I didn't want you to know, or because I thought you'd judge me, just that I'm allowed to hold information back.
Ouais, je t'ai pas posé la question non plus.
And the eye threw it at you like he'd known you your whole life.
Yes, and he accurately described the state of my house, too. Which is not a secret, particularly... But
at least we know who told him.
I'm not following.
It couldn't have been anyone but Sev, right?
Oh. Oh. I feel so stupid.
We know that the Eye was able to apply a lot of pressure on him. That doesn't make it okay. But maybe knowing what happened helps.
Usually I would agree. But this one was quite a shock. I feel as if I've turned up to a knife fight armed only with a wet sock.
We'll come more prepared next time. You couldn't have known.
True as that may be, it's the sense of betrayal that bothers me most. I know we've chosen to forgive him, but...
Maybe it's worth talking with Sev?
I don't think so. Sorry. Not right now, I mean. Too fresh.
That's fair. Keep it in mind, though?
I will. There's much to reflect on, as always. Thanks for listening. So, you and Casmin?
Yeah. What do you think?
Your strengths complement each other. I'm happy to see the two of you happy.
Thanks, Lane. I really appreciate that.
Make sure you ask her about how she organizes her socks. She's got a system, a detailed one.
Thanks for the tip. I'll get right on it.
Ça, toi, quelque chose à dire? Non. Ah, j'avais dessus.
If that doesn't keep you safe, I don't know what will.
Sev, quelque chose à dire? Non?
Hey, Eric. I'm so sorry for your loss. How are you holding up after everything?
Thank you, but I don't think you want the real answer to that question.
I really do. You look like a pot about to boil over, and your people need you focused.
I knew Kenrick Stannard was incompetent, but this... I didn't think he was capable of this. He deploys my entire team, spreads us thin on no information. A plan that requires utmost secrecy, he called it, swearing we would be given what we needed to know when the time was right. And then, nothing. A big speech, empty promises of victory, and the dawning realization among my team that we were a distraction. Meaningless forces to draw the Surgeborn's attention. And at that, we succeeded. While Kenrick, goddamn Stannard, ran for his life, they descended on my people like vultures swarming a corpse. Good people died because of that man. Good people will carry scars because of that man. It should have been him. Do you know what's amazing?
Tell me.
Digging into the past and salvaging relics that change your understanding of everything we do. Maybe this is old hat for you, because you've been free to do it for so long.
I haven't been doing it that long, but I can't imagine it will ever get old.
Well, good. So, our relics of the day are those scries we recovered, which work very much like yours, which demolishes my original bet on ours having been affected by this surge somehow. My best guess now is that they're working so well because they were packed up so tight. I floated the idea with Dom, and he was pretty into it. Want to join me in following up?
Oh, don't need me to do the asking this time?
No. I'm getting the hang of this. It's good you're here, Bryn. We have a mystery to solve. A scrinundrum. Ah, no, that doesn't work.
Griddle?
Ah, damn it. That's so much better.
Oh, you two are fun. To business, though, what we need to really work on the scries is a new set of the tools I use to maintain ours.
Do you not have them?
Lost in our mad dash through the veil. I hadn't felt the urgent need to replace them just yet, but if we're to compare and contrast our three classes of scry, we'll need them.
We haven't needed these tools until now?
Like most Enclave enchantments, the scries are incredibly durable. I normally maintain ours every few months. We had more pressing matters at hand, until this mystery reared its head.
What exactly do these tools involve?
They are so very fiddly. Small optics for examining the casing, tiny enchanted ones to target the patterns that form the images and keep the sound clear. That sort of thing. Like tuning an instrument?
Could we not borrow some from Eric's people?
I tried. I would consider their tools insufficient to our needs.
He's saying they're bad.
I'm saying they're bad, but politely.
This is usually the part where I find myself wrestling a giant lizard or something. So you might as well just tell me now.
Bryn, you never fail to cut to the heart of the matter, but I have good tidings. We need you to pick a flower.
A flower? That's it?
Not quite. It's from a plant renowned for its magical sensitivity called Mirian's Bloom.
And the tricky part, Dom was telling me, is that it can't be moved via any kind of teleportation. No loom gates and such.
Oh no.
Indeed, and complicating matters, it withers very quickly once picked. Lane and I can stabilize it, but we'll need our workstations here to do so, which means...
I'm going to have to run.
Pretty much. Sorry about that.
I'll just stretch extra. Do we know where I can find some?
Yes, in the swamp not too far from here, on the other side of the hollow.
Sounds like a plan.
Bon, meeting! Sup gang, ça a pas bien été?
I know everyone's up in their heads right now, but we have real problems to solve. So let's clear the air.
Are you running this discussion, then?
She is.
Sev, this has to start with you. We knew you were working with the Eye. We told you we'd have your back. Help us understand what happened. Just breathe, Sev. Start from the beginning.
I'm sure Bryn and Sola told you all. But I belong to an order called the Norians. We're sometimes called the Watersmiths. Imagine my surprise to learn our talents had been critical to the construction of the tapestry. Our order binds us to always help another Norian. Especially a high-ranking one like Stanild. And to keep their secrets.
So that's how he sunk his claws into you.
Why is the Order so secretive?
We've always been critical to the survival of Taza. Water is life in the desert, and we control the flow of water. The Elders have a secret political chokehold on the kingdoms. The altruistic Norians will tell you the secrecy is so no one can undo our work. But I have my doubts. And so, the Order operates in the shadows. I imagine they were much the same here in the Enclave.
What did Stanild have you doing?
It was all work on repairing the Grand Gate. He'd heard about our success with the gate in the Hollow and felt I might be able to replicate it. Thanks to your help, I was able to do so. And he took me more into his confidence as a result.
Did you leave the Norians to become Sola's apprentice?
One never really leaves the Norians. Not with their life. If word got out about me betraying Stanild, I'd be a dead ram walking. But no. My people have a ritual known as Ram Bralem. It is a time to pursue another path. And Sola was kind enough to accept me for mine.
It's true. I knew it could be temporary, but was hoping you'd stay on after.
The most important thing is whether we can trust you.
Yes, Sev. Convince us.
I swear, nothing I did was intended to cause harm. Too many of my order are political animals. But there is real good to be found among the Norians. Craftspeople who just wish to perfect their art. To bring water to people in need. To experiment, but need the resources to do so. Unfortunately, too many of those resources are controlled by people like Stanild. They're all the same. They see a point of control, water, information, wealth, and they abuse it. I thought the secrets were a necessary evil for some great purpose, but seeing his chokehold on the Enclave, it's stagnation. You all have every right to distrust me. I am sorry. No more secrets. I just can't do it anymore.
If you can't be a Norian, then what are you?
If you'd have me, I'd like to stay.
Those of us who have been here longer than Sev. Thoughts?
It's hard to have divided loyalties. But you did the right thing in the end, and if you hadn't, we might all be dead. That takes courage.
Still wasn't quick enough.
I don't know what to make of any of this. I want to believe you, but it's hard in the uncertainty surrounding us.
When I was going through it, you all pulled together to help me.
You are all heard. And I would add that you joined us under false pretenses, Sev. You had loyalties outside the band you never disclosed.
I have a hard time accepting that he kept so much from us, but shared so much with the Eye. Who knows what Stanild, or gods help us, the Talon heard about us? Only time will tell how much damage that's done.
Lane, I hear you and I understand. Sev has real work to do to rebuild trust. Only you can decide when the apology feels real to you. Sev, that considered, you have worked tirelessly since joining us, and demonstrated an enterprising spirit and deftness as a smith. And before the blade could completely fall, you risked all by blocking it with your own hand. You can never be a Norian again. I do not sense that you wish to be. And who are the Weavers but a group of outcasts and misfits, just trying to muddle through together? You will stay, And you will help. We have work to do. Tell us about Stanild's plan.
Thank you, Horia.
I'm sure we all have things we want to say. To Sev and each other. But that can wait. Right now, while we're all here together, we need to focus on next steps. But here's our challenge. That Talon. It spoke. It knew things it couldn't know about us. We're on the back foot and need to catch up fast.
Then let me, as Horia said, help. After I repaired the gate, Stanild took me completely into his confidence. He'd been questioning and learning from the Talon. Or so he thought.
Not realizing he was being manipulated.
He was increasingly estranged from his daughter. I'd wager he was desperate for a friend.
I'd agree. Based on what he'd learned from the Surgeborn from his friend, he put together a plan.
Use my people as a distraction to pull the bulk of the Surgeborn out of the underworks. All while he used the gate to... what?
There is a place, deep, deep underground, known as the Source. A feat of engineering unparalleled. It's the secret to the Enclave's power. The abundance of magic. The heart of the tapestry. The thing powering the Veil. There was only a single loom gate still connected to the Source after Asylum cleared all connections. And I'm the one who repaired it.
The Grand Gate would take him right to the heart of things then.
Exactly.
Stanild thought he could... what? Sneak down there and fix things somehow? Tear down the Veil?
His hope was to go down and secure a working space, sealed off from the distracted Surgeborn. He wants to eventually fix things with the help of the Spindle. All glory to his family.
That arrogant idiot.
He'd read in his personal archives there was a system designed to shut down the Source, in the hopes of discovering how it worked. He had been feeding information to the Spindle about it in drips.
Meaning she might have been working on a fix for the Source without knowing it.
Then we have to pursue her research, clearly.
Good. But we still have the problem Stanild never saw coming. A great Surgeborn.
Which almost certainly will be unkillable, if it operates like every other Surgeborn. It's hard to imagine any place more full of tangles than the literal source of the magic that's overflowing.
On that, I have an idea. If I'm right, we might be able to turn the tables and remove its advantage. I'll need Bryn's help if that's all right with everyone.
Of course. If it gives us a chance, we have to take it.
I agree.
Has anyone just thought to ask the Talon?
What would we ask it? Favorite color? Favorite way to disembowel Ashar?
No, she's right. It has clearly demonstrated an interest in Bryn. Maybe she could pry some information out of it.
I'm not sure I'll get much. But I'm also sure I'm not going to think it's my friend. So, worth exploring?
Then we have a path forward. Sev will pursue his thoughts on dealing with that beast.
My people have started calling it the Herald.
Of destruction? Doom?
Why not both? As I said, people are on edge.
Fine. Sev pursues weakening this Herald. We work with the Axle to look into the Spindle's latest research. And if she feels like it, Bryn has a chat with our imprisoned Surgeborn.
As good a path forward as we are going to find. Let's call it here and get to work.
Ok, il y a beaucoup de personnes à qui parler.
Bryn, I examined the wreckage at the Grand Gate after everything that transpired there.
Found something useful?
The kinetic strand, in fact. The Ark must have torn it from the Herald's pattern in the chaos of the battle.
Think we could weave it into my mantle?
I don't see why not. Its pattern appears to be quite similar to those found on wild creatures and Archons.
All right. We need every advantage.
Then let's get to work.
Ah ouais. Donne mon nouveau power demain.
And we're finished. This will be quite the powerful addition to your mantle.
How so?
This strand can twist kinetic magic into a tunnel. In battle, you could push debris or enemies through it and send them flying through the air quite forcefully.
Could I jump through it?
I suppose you could.
Hey, there's a lot of tall buildings, flying creatures. This is going to be great.
You're right. Just try to be careful.
Save, save, save.
I appreciated your candor in the meeting, Sev.
It was terrifying. Wasn't sure I'd be allowed to stay. You didn't get to voice an opinion with the others. Are we?
Well, I'm not going to pin a medal on you, because Sola says we shouldn't waste the materials. But you did good, big guy. We're a team. And it's good to know you're still with us.
I knew something was wrong the moment that thing started talking to me when Staniel wasn't around. It was very focused on you.
Me?
So much so that it said the only way the plan would succeed was if you talked to it. It reeked of trap. I didn't survive a decade around Tarzan Norians without picking up when someone's holding a knife behind their smile.
But you still took me down there.
Sorry. An educated risk. I felt there was nothing it could do and wanted the whole band to hear it talk. I don't think it understood we have the scry.
And Stanild wouldn't use one, of course.
The Talon was his deepest secret. Whom would he tell?
Can you tell me more about Stanild's plans for once he went through the Grand Gate?
He was counting on Isla. She was exceptional at protective fields. But even then, no. I don't think he had a real plan. The Talon had convinced him he'd be able to survive, and fool that he was, he trusted it. But I have a theory. You know how the weather sometimes skews wildly hot and cold?
Right. The aeroliths.
What else do we see on similar cycles?
Miasma.
Exactly. So, it follows.
You think the aeroliths are able to affect raw magic somehow?
I do. And in Staniel's private records and designs. I found notes, specifically on aeroliths with Norian commentary.
You think the Norians were involved in their creation?
It would certainly explain why Tarza had such access to aeroliths before the Surge. If I'm right, this might be the key to making the source survivable.
Fewer tangles means less dead me. Absolutely. Where...
You'll need to head to the Watersmith area of the Institute, and I'll guide you from there.
Faut que je trouve la plante. Quand des discussions.
Would you...
Check on Sev? Always. But how are you holding up?
I'm all right. Just worried about him, you know? He did the right thing in the end, and he seems to have come back to us for now, but all those issues that led him to the Eye in the first place, they aren't solved in a day.
He needs us now more than ever.
Exactly.
Next. C'est quoi le next?
I hate to do this when we're already dealing with something like 7 distinct major crises each day. I've got 2 pieces of bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
The second one.
Excellent choice. We have a stove problem. We use specially enchanted coals to maximize burn time and minimize weight, and we're dead out of them. And second, the stove itself is dented. Rather badly.
What? How did that happen?
I don't know. don't do stove maintenance. I'm a logistics girl. Maybe Seth sat on it.
He's still got bum fur, so if he did, it wasn't on.
Regardless, this is a damn and solar fix. One problem each.
I'm not sure they're in the best place right now.
That's why I'm asking you. They both love you, and can be grown-ups for the good of the group. Oria's already sick of salad. So, about all that stuff I had you bring me. Turns out I don't need it as much as I thought I did when I was sleep-deprived and strung out.
Funny how much clarity comes from a nap.
Yeah. Anyway, I've put all those materials back in your chest, along with a few other things Oria and the band found cluttering the caravan.
Wow. Thanks, Cass.
Don't mention it. Use it for whatever you want. Gear, weapons, fixing up the camp.
Then stuck. Whoa! Loot.
I spoke to Lane about us.
Looking to pry some secrets from a friend about me?
Not exactly, but they did tell me to ask you about your socks.
Now that's a true friend teeing me up for a chance to brag. To start, I have an impressive sock collection that is years in the making, with different patterns and materials from across the Maida. Storing each pair individually is a waste of space, so I categorized them into compartments as neatly as possible by nation of origin.
I have to admit, I expected something more complicated.
I'm not done. They're sub-sorted by pattern, and then sub-sub-sorted by fiber, and then sub-sub-sub-sorted by comfort.
There we have it.
Point is, this system is infallible, and will be my legacy.
So, are you saying I can come borrow socks when I need them?
Absolutely not.
Touche pas à mes bas.
Hey, mind if we talk somewhere private?
Lead the way.
I won't be returning to expeditions. I've known for a while now, but I couldn't bring myself to admit it. My days as Point are over.
I thought you were recovering from your injury.
Not as well as I should be. That I got injured at all was a sign that I'm not as fast as I used to be. I should count myself lucky. Not many Points get a career this long, but I'm not ready for this to end. Especially here, of all places. What kind of legacy is it to reach the Enclave only to sit by the fire?
But you've had an incredible career. And it isn't ending just because you can't go on expeditions.
I know, but it's not the same. And some part of me was hoping to end on a big score. I thought if I found out who my father was, if he turned out to be some great weaver like my mother, it's silly.
Tell me.
I thought I could solidify my legacy in history. Make sense of what my own contributions have been, if anything at all.
You're an incredible weaver in your own right. You don't need impressive parents to prove that. And if you had to pick your last act as Point, isn't finding your way into the Enclave the biggest score of all? You're everything I want to be.
That's very kind. Maybe in time I'll make peace with what my career has been. But for now, it's too raw.
Is there anything I can do?
Unless you can give me a few years back. This is grief I'll need to sit with for a while.
I understand. I wish there was something I could do to help Oria see herself the way I see her. Lane knows a thing or two about recording legacies.
I'm sorry.
For what?
You saw through the eye from the start, and I doubted you when I shouldn't have.
I have experience dealing with slimy, over-promising leaders, so foresight was on my side there.
I'm serious. I didn't realize he was capable of this.
No one could have predicted he would be manipulated so thoroughly. That level of incompetence is hard to foresee.
The Eye is the highest position of leadership within the Enclave. The most progressive place in the Maida.
One we've been told stories of our entire lives. It's become mythic.
The more time we spend here, the more I realize that those were practically fairy tales. I allowed myself to be blinded by his title. I need to be sharper next time.
Ah, good. We're all here.
Yes, we're here to talk about the stove.
Anyway, stove's not working. Campfire sucks by comparison. How are we fixing this?
Yes, please, let's talk about the stove.
Awkward.
How did we run out of coal anyway? I spent 2 days in Varentia working on that last batch.
Sure, but then we ended up in the Enclave. So now we need to find more. Also in the Enclave.
I don't easily have the materials to process another batch. But the temple might have some. I hate to admit it, but that was the one really useful thing I took out of my time with the Church of the Hallowed Pyre. They know their fuels.
Great! Temple. But what good's coal without a proper place to burn it for cooking? Sola?
If we're able to find coal like before, then it'll just be a case of reforming and reinforcing the old stove. I will need a few materials. I'll draft up a list for Bryn.
Good. Excellent. We're moments away from hot food. Go team!
So I'll...
Go team!
Pa-pa-da-pa. Va falloir que j'aille.
Lane, I was wondering if you could help me with something.
What is it?
Well, it turns out Oria's search for her father wasn't just about finding her family.
Crusades into one's lineage rarely are. Let me guess. She didn't find the missing piece of herself that she hoped she would, and now she's having an existential crisis.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up.
It happens. So, what has all this really been about?
She knows she needs to retire, and she's struggling with what her legacy has been.
Ah. Isn't it strange how the most accomplished people never seem to recognize their own success?
Yeah, I was hoping you could help with that. After all, isn't chronicling a legacy your specialty?
We could certainly commemorate her career with a written account. A lovely idea. I would suggest we personalize it with anecdotes from each of our traveling companions, as they've been in Oria's band longer than you or I. Would you interview them for me? Legacies may be my specialty, but you might have the leg up when it comes to connecting with others.
Sure, I can do that. Any tips on what to ask them?
Ask whatever you like. Maybe you want a few humorous stories in the mix, or some readers prefer heartfelt. Why don't I start by interviewing you?
Me?
Of course. We'll need your input. What has Oria meant to you?
Oria was legendary to me before we met. To have someone like her give me unparalleled opportunity and responsibility, it means the world to me. She's a true guiding light in my career.
Great. I'll transcribe that and start her biography. Take notes when you speak to the others and come back to me.
Pas d'autres discussions. Oh, Lord.
You know, a lot of points struggle with transitioning into a Watcher's role full-time. And there's never been a point more passionate than Oria.
I know. I hope this eases her pain.
I'm sure it will. Now, what can I do to help?
What do you think makes Oria such a strong leader?
She listens to her weaver's input when needed, yet remains decisive when a consensus can't be reached. The band I traveled with before fell apart due to disagreements over what our goals should have been. It was a difficult and tumultuous time in my career. I never wanted to live through that again.
I can relate. Traveling with Oria is a completely different experience to my last band too.
She has a clear vision for her band, and she chooses people that share her goals. Even when conflict arises, it doesn't last long, and Oria can diffuse it quickly. That's because we can all trust that one another's intentions are good. Leading a weaver band is half the battle. And picking the weavers? That's the tough part.
Thanks for sharing, Dom.
I haven't known Aurea for as long as the others, but she's done a lot for me. I'd like to help with your project if I can.
Of course, Sev.
What do you want to know?
You said Aurea has done a lot for you. Tell me more about that.
After everything that's happened, everything I've done, she's just accepted me as part of the band. Until now, my position in life has always felt precarious. To just be accepted, no questions asked by someone like her. It means everything. She's given me a home. All of you have.
You'll always have one with us.
For the first time in my life, I actually believe that.
Thanks, Sev.
Glad to be of service.
Perfect.
Bryn, I love what you're doing for Aurea. How can I help?
You've been in the Weaver Band the longest. How do you think Aurea has changed throughout her career?
To be a point for as long as Aurea has is extremely rare. The knowledge she's acquired at a time when weavers have lost so much is invaluable. She's always been passionate about recovering what was lost since the Surge. Though, I think feeling alone in that ambition has taken a toll on her over the years.
In what way?
Not all weavers are in this for our collective culture the way Aurea is. Many of them only seek personal glory. When Casman didn't work out as her replacement point, she became worried she might never find someone that shared her vision for this band. It meant a lot when she finally found you.
Wow. Thank you, Sola.
Happy to help.
Hello, lady.
Your idea to commemorate Aurea's career with Lane is lovely. How can I help?
What is Aurea's most impressive accomplishment?
It's tough to choose. But I always remember this time we were camping in the Sansa Plains. Aurea had heard of a drake a few leagues north of where we made camp. Believed to be one of the biggest in the Maida. She left on an expedition, hoping to return with a few scales or maybe a tooth. Gone for hours, she came barreling back into camp at nightfall, dragging its entire hide behind her. We ate and drank like royalty for a fortnight with all the riches that hide bartered on the Imperial black market. I don't know which memory is fonder. All of us gathered around the fire, sharing a bottle of aged mead, or the look on her face when she dragged that hide into the campsite.
That's perfect. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
Bon, faites le tour. Je reviens. Hello, désolé, le collier est arrivé. On va enlever ça.
But the account of Oria's career is finished.
Great. I'll gather everyone if you're ready to present it.
I'll need to ice my quill hand. But, of course.
Let's hope she likes this.
She will.
Meeting!
What's going on?
We wanted to present the latest addition to Lane's archive to you, together. We all contributed, though credit goes to Lane for compiling and writing it.
I've titled it A True and Personal Account of Oria Silverbeak Harpinet.
What is going on?
We wanted to do something special to commemorate your time as Point.
You didn't have to do all this.
We did.
You've done more for each of us time and time again.
No one is more deserving of a place in Weaver history than you, Oria.
So we took it upon ourselves to write you one.
As a thank you for everything.
I don't know what to say.
Lane, why don't you read just the opening?
Oria Silverbeak, as she came to be known, was born to Sharian Harpinet and Eugenius Osphine inside the Enclave just before the Surge.
Osphine?
Though she never knew her father, her mother hoped Oria would follow in her footsteps as a skilled enchantress within the Maida. But Oria decided to become a Point, blazing her own trail. Something she would continue to do throughout her career, bigger and bolder each time. We'll let you read the rest on your own.
We hope this account will help you see yourself and your accomplishments the way we see you.
I'm at a loss. All I can say right now is thank you.
Attends, wow, l'autre a réagi avec le nom, là. Ouais, c'est ça.
Bryn, I was so moved by what you did for Oria. It's clear she means a lot to all of you.
Thank you. She does.
But her father, Eugenius Osphine, I know who he is.
You do?
Yes, and I want you to make an offering for his grave. I can give you a key swatch to reach it.
Wait, you know where it is?
I do. And I'm sure Oria would love to watch you visit on the scry.
Okay, but shouldn't we tell her?
Trust me, this is something you should show her directly. Come back when you've got the offering and I'll give you the key swatch.
Okidoki. Hello, j'ai 3 affaires à crafter. Winter Scripter, Professor. C'est bon, ok. Ça a bien l'air intense. J'ai volé une plume.
One of Oria's feathers would be beautiful as part of the offering for her father's grave.
Oups. Je vais plus voir j'en avais combien en fait. Commence. Je suis curieux avec ça. Frosty. Ah, je suis curieux de nos sorts. Yeet. chose. Je fais ça sur le monde, ça savez pas. Grand chose, faudrait que je les lance moi-même. Dark on expense qui est. Ah bon, reste tout, hein. Il va falloir que j'aille un autre map. Là, non, ça ramenait en ville. Je me rappelle plus où la sortie ici. Genre faire ça. Oui! Ok, j'aime ce sort là.
I'm going to let Arik power the scry for your run with the Bloom Brim.
Appreciate it, Aurea.
You could use the practice. Faut que je pogne ça, puis je me dépêche.
Here goes.
Good. Now move. We'll be ready.
Oh non, 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 non. Mon pire cauchemar. Ben, à ce que je peux faire ça,
Good
peut-être ça va
progress,
m'aider.
Bryn. Smooth and steady.
Mais bon, pas le temps. Chou, là. On va passer par là.
It's looking a bit off.
That's normal. Just keep moving and you'll be fine.
She's got this.
Did we?
Yes. Oh, we're good. Excellent work, everyone. We'll get this over to Solar, Bryn. She'll be ready for you whenever.
Bon, chose est faite. Ouais. Auto power rise. Upper. Ça, je vais pouvoir aller chercher le dernier plan qui est ici.
This place never fails to impress. Just imagine it before the veil was tucked. Wouldn't have had to scavenge. We treated coral at any rate.
Ah, là, je suis censé trouver matériaux de quelque chose directement. pogne la bonne quête. Ah! C'est en haut. Chance que je mets un nouvel ascenseur. Que j'ai fait trop haut. Avant de partir, je vais aller chercher le dernier plan. Je suis curieux. Oui! Ow! C'est placé, c'est pas de ma faute. Merde, bien solide d'un coup. Il est plus. On va souhaiter que ça va bien se passer. Pourquoi tu t'es pas agrippé? Ah, c'est correct, c'est correct, c'est correct, c'est pas grave, c'est pas grave, c'est pas grave. C'est pas grave. Ah, rendu. J'ai vu de quoi en haut. J'ai halluciné. Tu es resté agrippé. C'est sûr que ça flashait comme ça, mais en haut. Ok, c'était pas en haut de l'arbre, c'est vraiment là. Ouais. Pas très sûr. Ouais, ok. Ça non. Institute. C'est combien là? 7. Il me semble qu'il y en avait 11. En donnes-tu? Ben oui.
One never quite forgets that smell.
Temple coal taking you back?
Unfortunately, yes. It conjures up images of stern keepers, hot stuffy vestibules, and ranted invective posing as sermons on the evils of magic. It was everywhere in Renland. The church has the nation in a stranglehold, and so I left. At considerable speed. I don't think I really stopped running at all until... well...
Until you met the love of your life.
yes. I thought so. I still hope so.
It's been a strain on you both.
I'm sure everyone has noticed.
Needing it?
Maybe. It's clear she yearns to just stay here in the Enclave, even if we brought down the veil. But I find comfort in the road. It has few preachers, and no community dedicated to strangling out individuality.
Worried if you stop moving that it will catch up with you?
I suppose I am still running, in a way.
Does she know that?
It's not something I want to burden her with.
She's strong, in a lot of ways. Something to think about.
Right. Yes, I shall.
bon.
It's significantly easier to do a repair than working up a new suit of armor from scratch. I'm going to go soft.
We could use some really intricate chandeliers to brighten up the place.
Casman would be happy. Though, I strongly suspect this entire thing is an elaborate ruse to get Dom and I talking.
It's not like her to run out of things, it's true. Is it working, do you think?
I don't know. The intentions are good, but I'm hurting.
I think you both are.
Yes. But I'm the one who's been following his dream of wandering the Maida for years. And the moment I say, hey, maybe we could do something else, he shuts down.
You're right. That doesn't seem fair.
It isn't.
He didn't have a great reaction to what you said, it's true. But at the same time, he was rather caught off guard.
Well, perhaps it was a little abrupt.
Maybe he deserves a chance to have a second reaction.
You're as bad as Casman. Speaking of, we should see her and present the fruits of our labors.
J'aimerais ça savoir où est-ce que je trouve ça.
Isla sacrificed everything.
Okay, let's take that again. I'm sorry. I needed a moment to step back and refocus after going off about Stanild. I am, I think, okay now.
I'm impressed. Not everyone can pull themselves out of that kind of anger.
A hard-won skill. When I first made head of the Scouts, Stanild did everything he could to undercut me. His favorite trick was poking and prodding until I lost my cool. Always worked.
You've seemed pretty together around him when I've been there.
Yeah. I started practicing Valanshir.
What's that?
The intersection between meditation, bare-hand combat, and breathing exercises. There's a complete series of whole-body motions. Painfully slow, moving from pose to pose while controlling your breathing. But at the end, just before you reach the final pose, you explode into the final position, usually exhaling hard like, ha!
And that helps.
Oh yeah. It's a solid workout controlling your motions, but the real struggle is the mental focus, which can be exhausting, but after a few months of practice, it's like being able to slide into that calm headspace on command. A few deep breaths and Stanild can't touch me. Well, except when he puts my people in danger with his ego.
My mum used to say I could use some impulse control. Maybe I should get some lessons from you. And again, I'm truly sorry to hear about the losses. We'll make their sacrifices meaningful.
Yes, we will. Whatever it takes. Hey you. How's my favorite point doing?
Really well, like always. Thought I'd see how you were holding up.
Still reeling a little from the attack, but getting my feet back under me. Forces me to be up all day more often than I should. I should talk to Dom about that, actually.
Dom uses some kind of sleep aid. Lane could help you with that.
Oh, are they the secret weapon? I wondered how Dom does it. I can stay up past noon regularly, but I wear down if I do it too much.
To be fair, I think that's just Dom. Fueled by his love of enchantment and solar in equal measure. The Scouts probably appreciate you being available all day, but that will wear you down if you're not careful. You must have a day watch head who fills in when you sleep.
Yes, but I can't resist getting involved when it's important. I'll talk to Lane. Maybe they have some extra tricks up their sleeve.
Cal?
Oh,
What's
hey.
passé?
I heard about you and Casmin.
Bon.
Yeah. I'm... We're really happy.
J'imagine que toutes les personnes qui t'en parlent, tu vas avoir une relation avec les autres.
So she's doing okay, overall?
Had a rough spell, but she's doing so much better.
I heard the outline of it, but didn't want to pry. I'm really glad to hear she's good and that you're happy. By the way, did you hear what Aurea said to me?
No?
I guess you can call me Madame Osphine.
No!
Oh yes, you are a smart, capable, and amazing person. But you're a menace.
I had a chance to run a test, and I would say our stove is cooking better than ever. Keeps the heat well, burns clean, a job well done.
Dom's always been very good at treating that kind of coal. Must be the Wren in him.
Hardly. No, I simply find my inspiration in...
I think...
Sola, I have an idea.
Oh?
Tarmakind uses exceptionally precise temperatures to work the metal, yes? Sometimes exceptionally high?
I mean, yes, but...
I finished Xavier's journals. He was quite thorough and talked extensively about working with the Halopire priests.
Nothing quite helps me commune with the flames like someone slamming a hammer into metal.
You'd be surprised. But I imagine Dom means the shrine underground. I saw it mentioned too.
Precisely. And perhaps we could lean on our intrepid point to investigate.
Of course. I'd be happy to.
They must have kept records. Samples, perhaps.
I really appreciate this.
Pourquoi je me fais embarquer encore, là? Ah, ouais, je suis curieux de retourner là. You son of a dupe.
You are hardly in any position to make lofty demands. The council convened and unanimously stripped you of your role. You no longer hold the privileges of the Eye.
And how quickly did you convene that council? You hardly waited for my daughter's body to cool.
She is dead because of you. Because of your reckless behavior and deception, no less.
Harun, how dare you? Every decision I've made, every action I've taken has been for her protection.
Abandoning her at the Grand Gate was for her protection. We all saw you on the scry. And that is Khan Artemay to you, Kenrick.
Is this a bad time?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
No. You're more than welcome at Cassidon's Hold. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
I came to offer my condolences. To both of you.
Oh. Thank you.
Intellect can be taught, and creativity can be cultivated. But the kindness Isla embodied is rare. She helped our quartermaster through her darkest hour. I'll always be grateful for that.
She was... exceptional. It's hard to imagine the Enclave will ever recover from this loss.
Then why are you so opposed to giving her the funeral she deserves?
With the Surgeborn swarming Denevron, we can't risk a trip to the Halopire Rise.
For generations, every Stanild has received the rite of ashes upon death. Isla will not be the exception to this.
Could I perform the rite on your behalf?
You? Don't tell me you're a Halopire priestess on top of being a righteous pain in my ass.
Whoa.
Skies, do you want a funeral or not? She's our best option.
Isla saved my life. I want to help you honor her death.
I suppose you do owe her that. Fine. For the rite of ashes, you need to burn an object that was sacred to the deceased upon the High Pyre. As you collect the ashes, you must read a rite aloud to thank the flames for bringing the deceased to rest.
Do you have an object that was sacred to Isla?
Isla's most prized possessions aren't in Cassidon's Hold. She had a secret refuge in Dredger's Mire. You're sure to find something? She was always sneaking away at night to work there.
You knew she was sneaking out of Cassidon's hold.
I knew my daughter better than she realized. Return to me with the ashes.
Thank you, Bryn.
Gonna bring you the ashes.
Ridiculous! The Stanilds have been receiving the rite of ashes at the Hallowpire Rise for generations. That Hiram doesn't want to send a mourning party is an insult to her memory.
That's not fair. You know Khan Arteme would love to give Isla...
Don't say her name.
All I'm saying is the Axel lost someone too. You don't need to make this harder on her.
And who, pray tell, is working to ease my pain? The answer is in the silence. No one.
Ouais, c'est de ta faute un petit peu, là. Pas mal.
Let me guess. You've come to ask me to apologize to your naive lawkeeper.
No.
No? Isn't that what self-proclaimed heroes do? Demand justice for your friends?
I would never ask Lane to waste their energy on a conversation with you again. Do I think how you spoke to them was a disgusting, brutish display? Absolutely. But justice doesn't come with an apology from you, does it?
They attacked my legacy. I merely put them in their place.
Exactly. Without remorse, an apology would just be posturing. No. Justice is served in the way Lane still chooses kindness every day. Despite people like you trying to tear them down.
Their research tore me.
Justice is served in the way Lane gets to continue living as their wonderful, talented self. Whereas you have to keep living as yourself. As someone who is clearly in so much pain over his own existence, he needs to make other people feel small, so he can look big.
I am far too exhausted to beleaguer this issue.
So we agree. There is no need for you to ever speak to or about Lane again.
I suppose we agree on that.
Ah, je déteste.
Before you ask, the answer is maybe.
About the scries? You know?
Of course I know. In this role, I can't afford to be oblivious to one of my colleagues sneaking about. And while well-meaning, Arakim is about as stealthy as a glass tail on rice paper. Which brings me to my question. The answer will tip me from maybe to yes or no. Why are you here and not him?
Khan Arteme, you know Kenrick's temper as well as anyone. How many times did Arakim get punished for daring to step out of line? He has incredible intentions, and will do anything to help your people. But you need to build his trust and confidence.
Let me come again to the point. Why you, and not Arakim?
Honestly, I don't think he knows how to ask.
It's as simple as him asking me. I am not Stanild.
No, but you have to prove that to Arik as much as he has to prove himself to you. That was the lesson I learned from Aurea. The best leaders are mentors and meet their people halfway. That's what Arik needs from you.
An interesting point. I suppose he did not receive much support. Well, ever. Very well. You have my approval. I shall be watching very closely to see how this proceeds. And fair winds. I hope you can find your answers. I just wish Isla were here to help.
Hey, I can't imagine how you must be feeling.
I am broken. Everyone wants a piece of me. Regardless.
Because you're in charge.
For now. Someone had to be. I don't know how I'm supposed to carry on like this. Without her, my support is gone. My foundations crumbled to dust. She wouldn't want me to cry. So
You can if you need to. I know our Weaver band is still fairly new here, but you've got our support. All of us.
The funeral will honor her memory. Even if it's not what he wants, she would understand that it's enough. One day at a time, Bryn. That's all we can promise to ourselves.
You mentioned you were in charge. Does that mean you're the new Eye now?
So the council is larger than just the 3 main representatives. As you heard, we convened and unanimously agreed that Kenrick had overstayed his welcome in the role of the Eye. So he's been stripped of that, and by default, that means I'm in charge. Emergency authority. Am I the Eye? No. And nor do I particularly want to be right now. But when the time is right to hold elections, we'll do so. We need to break this cycle.
What cycle do you mean?
Council seats weren't permanent before the surge. That idea was Kenrick's. And it's clearly not worked out for us. So again, once we've solved this crisis, we'll chart a new path. Assuming we survive. After all, we could all be dead this time next week.
Optimiste. Bon, on commence par retourner au campement.
The last conversation I had with the Spindle was about Ira's plague. I went to Cassidy's Hold to visit her.
Really? Well, my understanding was that she didn't experience it herself.
No, but she understood being stigmatized by it. Even though Ira's plague affects many races, most believe it only affects Kashar. I haven't known many others like me throughout my life. Not intimately, at least. It was nice to speak with someone who understood that part of me.
I'm glad you got that chance.
Agreed. We never know how much time we'll have with someone.
Let's make every second of ours count, then.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
What did we learn about the Scries, fellas?
Nothing good, unfortunately.
You know how all enchanted things use woven patterns to achieve their effects here? Well, the scries used here for decades were warped. There's no other way to describe them.
Some sort of corruption or decay?
Not exactly. More like elements had fused or connected in different ways than were intended by the enchanter.
I take it that's not normal.
Darm's never seen it. And I asked the High Enchanter, and he had never heard of it either.
Even more worrying is that the Myrian's bloom also behaved strangely while we were trying to distill it. Normally there is a very rote set of steps, but it took Lane and I several tries to find the proper alchemic ratios to make it useful.
And then we have the Spitfires, acting more aggressive than normal, nesting in odd places. Putting it all together, we're seeing a worrying pattern of unexplained changes.
Ones that would be hard to notice if a certain band hadn't broken through the veil. We can confirm these changes aren't happening outside the Enclave.
Huh. What do we do about it then?
Darm and I have been talking about it and have some ideas. Give us a little bit of time to see if we can come up with a plan.
I'll leave you to it.
Ok, de fait, un autre qui va arriver. Un autre dialogue ici.
I've been running more tests on the bloom you recovered.
You didn't need it all for Darm's tools?
No, thankfully. We had a number of false starts with the alchemical processes, but we had enough petals even then. It does speak to the issue, though. I tried every control I could think of, and can only conclude that the bloom itself is off.
Could it just have been that one flower?
Perhaps. Either way, it warrants further study. But Arakim's offered to help us collect more, so it won't impact you.
J'aurais pas pu faire ça au début. Bon, avant de commencer la prochaine mission, ça va être la fin de la session et du live. Donc, on va continuer une prochaine fois où est-ce qu'on a arrêté. Je crois qu'on est rendu, on a changé d'acte. Oui, acte 6. En fait, donc on avance bien, J'ai maintenant toutes les magies, toutes les améliorations. À côté quête, il ne reste pas énormément. Donc on va continuer ça une prochaine fois. Donc je vous dis merci et à la prochaine. Ciao!